yesterday. We tested Streamlabs. We're a little bit more familiar with it. However, we still have the chat feature probably not working, so you're not going to be able to see your chats on there, and that might be an issue with YouTube, so we're just going to go along with it. However, we have an alert box, so if somebody subscribes or sends a donation or whatever, it should work. Anyways, we're testing out some new live streaming features. So let us begin. Bitcoin has breached $10,000, and I'm just going to refresh just to make sure that the audio and video quality is all good. Unfortunately, with Streamlabs, I have to refresh from my main YouTube channel, and just kind of go from there. So we're going to most likely edit this out once this turns into a video format. It is a little bit early still in America. We are inside, and now just in case if we need to, we can check out the audio and edit a few things. It's a little uncomfortable, but we already have one mic, so that's what I like. Bitcoin has okay, audio is all good. We can begin. Welcome, Jack Ski. Now then, there we go. Yes. And the website that didn't work on yesterday's live stream, because I created a Bitcoin $10,000 live stream on my main channel just to get people interested. Right there, as you saw it was above 10,000. It's at 9,999.44.59 right now, and it's struggling all over there. And boom, we have 10,000. So it breached the psychological barrier. And where are we in terms of how far away we are from the block halving? Well, it's 3 days, 9 hours, 6 minutes, and 5 seconds. So it's coming up any day now. And then we're going to have to wait approximately another 4 years. So it's quite an exciting event. But there's other stuff in the news that's even more exciting. So let us begin. Why the Dow is laughing off the worst jobs report you've ever seen. And then 3 reasons the Dow is flying despite terrible economic data. So you type in the U.S. unemployment rate, and you have a lot of news articles discussing the U.S. unemployment rate from April is skyrocketing to 14.7%. And this is just from last month, so the first week of May is not being counted yet. However, already with that, 22 million jobs in the month of April alone were lost. So that is a huge amount. You do have to take into account that the U.S. may have lost 34 million jobs, and that was already April 30th, 2020. So it could be, and we will see what happens in the rest of the month of stimulus checks by this point. Hopefully they've gotten their unemployment, but not everybody's happy because most people are doing okay. However, the small minority still needs help, and the U.S. government is defrauding the PPP program because they were taking loans even though they didn't need to take the PPP loans. The U.S. government ran out. They had to throw in more funds, so a lot of fun stuff is going on. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is racing toward a second straight day of solid gains. The stock market rally came despite the worst macroeconomic data report in the U.S. history. Here's why Wall Street shrugged off a historic monthly spike in job losses, and Warren Buffett has turned a little bit bearish now. So Warren Buffett's favorite stock market indicator hits record high, signaling a crash could be coming, and that was already more than a week ago. The market's inside divided by the quarterly GDP. So when that hits, he kind of went a little bit bearish and everybody's a little bit scared. But there's some more news from that. And give me 1 second. So the total consumer debt hits a new record of $14.3 trillion. Debt is rising not only for the government, but for consumers as well. A lot of people are using their credit cards, and unfortunately, people who were hoping to use their credit card debt to pay off the next month's rent and all that, credit card companies are also a little bit afraid because there's going to be a fair amount of people who default on their debt and aren't able to pay the debt. And that's why even up to 9 to 10% of individuals out there right now who are planning to use credit card debt to fund the next month, their groceries, rent, whatever gas they have to have, anything that they need to have for their kids, for themselves to live. Well, that 9 to 10% of Americans who are saying that they're hoping for that, some of them may not get that extra credit line increase because banks are making it much tougher now. Some of them may not get another credit card because they're applying and banks are scrutinizing the applications. They're going to double check with employment. And if you're unemployed, well, you're most likely not going to get it. And some people haven't gotten their checks from unemployment. It's being delayed. It also depends how you got fired, how you got laid off with your employer, because some employers did some sketchy things to try and save money and cut corners. So it really, really depends. According to the Labor Department, U.S. unemployment crashed by 20.5 million jobs in April, causing the unemployment rate to swell. So a nice big jump right there. It only took Credit Suisse chief economist James Sweeney one sentence to explicate what this says about the U.S. economy. This might be the worst macroeconomic the worst macroeconomic data report in U.S. history. And yet the stock market reacted with nothing more than a half-hearted shrug. So a lot of people think it's just a short-term tactic. It's a dead cat bounce. It's doing its thing. It's going up. Everything's great. But what has happened historically with a lot of these depressions and recessions, there was these dead cat bounces right before. So right before 1929 crash, stock market was doing great. It suffered a little bit and it went up, and everybody's like, oh yeah, we're fine. And then the next few years, people were just screwed completely. They couldn't find work. They couldn't feed their kids. People were jumping out of windows. They couldn't, they rushed the banks. They couldn't get their money out. And a lot of things had to happen. The New Deal, the government had to change itself completely. Only up until like World War II, it had to take an entire global war to fix the U.S. economy. So even up till 39, the U.S. economy was still kind of traumatized. A lot of people were like, oh, Jesus, hiding money underneath the mattress. The stock market reacted with nothing more than a half-hearted shrug. That's not going to do much for the reputation of the most hated Dow Jones rally ever. So a lot of people are scared. They don't want to invest in stocks right now. They kind of don't really know what to do. What some people believe is that the rich are selling their stocks right now. It went up and they're like, oh yeah, okay, it's a perfect time to offload. And people who are very, very hopeful and aren't able to lose the money, but they're just rich, as U.S. labor market incurs record job losses. So we can employed people right now. We had Jack Ski, so that's okay. Navi, we had a little bit more comments. But a lot is going on. So 3 reasons the Dow is flying despite terrible economic data. I'm not going to read through these entire articles, so that's why we're going to skip through around a little bit. And let's just check the price right now. It's at $10,017. That's the highest I've seen yet. $10,018 right there. The Dow refuses to be held down by poor economic data because investors believe this downturn is temporary. Vaccine hopes are the key to investor sentiment. The market is committed to ignoring coronavirus-induced pain and instead have started to focus on the trade deal with China. It seems impossible that the U.S. unemployment rate swelled to levels not seen since the Great Depression. The Dow Jones Industrial Average continued to stage a rally. So a lot of people were like, whoa, what's going on? We're at the tail end of an earnings season punctuated by grim projections and terrible results, but still the Dow is rallying. So vaccine hopes underpin the Dow rally. The way equities are priced today assumes there's a vaccine coming. And yeah, there will be a vaccine eventually. However, that will take some time. And unlike President Trump said at the very beginning where, yeah, we're going to have a vaccine, within a month or a few months or wherever he said, he kept pushing the date back. This thing takes like a year or two, right? And even if a lot of the top pharmaceutical companies are working with one another from different countries, at minimum, it's going to be like 6 to 12 months. And if it's released too early, well, what if there's some side effects and, vaccines aren't 100% foolproof? There's some side effects that could kill people even. So if it's released too early and it's dangerous, that's also a bad thing. So I don't know why people are like, oh yeah, vaccine's coming. It is, but it's not going to save us where we are right now. It's not going to save us during the summertime. Maybe in November, September, who knows? There's some concern that a vaccine isn't possible. UK Chief Medical Officer Christopher Whitty has cautioned that it may not be possible to immunize against the novel virus. Everyone should be careful that we don't assume that we're going to have a vaccine for this disease as we have had for, let's say, measles, which once you have it, you're protected for life. Vaccines are looked for every infectious disease. They are not found for all of them. So investors commit to ignoring results. There's been a consensus on Wall Street that Q1 results are more or less a moot point. Companies like Boeing, whose 737 MAX issues were already plaguing the stock going into crisis, rose this week. British Airlines completed a $25 billion bond deal that will likely keep the firm liquid throughout the rest of the pandemic. The cash infusion gave investors a reason to be bullish on the stock, even though the MAX is still not airworthy, and coronavirus will likely weigh on air travel for years to come. But Wall Street is committed to ignoring the pain, so the stock moved higher. Apple, the Dow's most crucial component, managed to deliver an earnings beat amid the pandemic. But notably, the firm, like most of its peers, declined to offer any predictions. So, great. Market commentator Mike Santoli pointed out that not offering any kind of guidance for a quarter or a month into is worrying. I don't think it's necessarily all that bullish that the CEO says, 1 month into the quarter, we're not even going to give a guess as to what the business looks like for the other 2/3 of this quarter. But on the other hand, a lack of guidance has given investors reason to bury their heads in the sand. And the last part, the China trade deal, a big part of the reason the Dow has been able to continue rising despite economic uncertainty has nothing to do with the coronavirus at all. Over the past few weeks, the trade deal with China has come into focus as the relationship between Beijing and Washington deteriorates. And what's going on with this is India is trying to there's more than 1,000 companies in China, 1,000 American companies that are really big, and India is trying to take some of them. The deals are falling apart. The relationship's not that good. America's kind of angry at China, and they should be because China wasn't fully honest about the pandemic. And, over 70,000, I think it's 71,000 people have died from it. So let's just check out the stats really quickly. Obviously, America was the one that was impacted the most out of this. China is probably lying. Poland's over there, 15,200, so that's not too bad. We have 4 million confirmed cases. So there's been a lot of damage that's been dealt by a country that, is just trying to spew propaganda that everything's fine, but there could be a second outbreak over there. Yeah, they locked down Wuhan, and they did a good job of that because they kind of went, draconian measures. People were getting sealed inside their houses. Who knows? People were disappearing, right? So it's weird, it's sketchy, but they could have done a way better job of informing the public way earlier. And there was also Chinese New Year, so a lot of people got affected because of that. They should have shut down travel before. I mean, it was just a disaster. So America's over here at 1.3 million, and it's even worse. It's 77,000, and this hasn't been even updated that yet. For in the next few hours, it's probably going to be 78,000. So that's a lot. And China's all the way down here. I mean, do you really believe that they just got one and it's 83,000? It's not even 83,000. I mean, they've been around 81, 83,000 for the past few weeks now. Iran's been lying as well, but at least they're over 100,000. And Iran's so much smaller than China, right? So yeah, China has great tech, and it does have a fair bit of money somewhere, but not everybody's rich. And the hospital system, I don't know. It's just a weird thing that's happened. 4 million worldwide cases, and USA is more than 1/4 of them. So 78,000 deaths. There's reasons for this tension, and there's always been tension between China, but this has ramped up everything. So neither side can afford a trade war at a time like this. Investors have gotten accustomed to the way the Trump administration floats trial balloons. I don't anticipate governments will make the same mistake of imposing higher tariffs. The renewed focus on China's trade deal has given investors the opportunity to move on from the virus. It's more evidence that the world is moving beyond the pandemic, and it offers a welcome distraction. Disclaimer, as of this writing, the author did not hold a position where, great, technically, that doesn't really matter much. Just like YouTubers saying, I don't hold any Bitcoin or whatever. By the way, I don't hold any Bitcoin actually right now because there was a better time to purchase it. I wasn't ready. And if you are watching this and you're not ready to purchase Bitcoin, if you want to save up because, hey, a disaster could strike within the next few months and you have no emergency fund, you got credit card bills, don't buy Bitcoin right now. There's going to be better opportunities to buy Bitcoin in the future. Don't worry. Whatever someone says, it's always going to be, there's always going to be more opportunities. And not only for Bitcoin, but for other cryptocurrencies as well. So let's check out the heat map. Let's reload it. Mostly in the green today following Bitcoin, but maybe something's changed because this was updated last hour. So hopefully you guys are having a great day, whether you're watching this right now or later. Let's check out some of the comments. Doji, how's your tinnitus? Well, at night it ramps up. Today I did a small little meditation, thanks to a friend, and I think I'm going to get a meditation mat. So I used to go to a Buddhist temple to meditate. A lot of people recommend that for tinnitus. I cannot. I tried so many times to do that with tinnitus, and it has always made me focus on it more instead of distracting from it. So tinnitus ramps up. It's much louder. And honestly, over the past year and a half, I feel it has gotten louder, but you just have to keep going. So yeah, there's some pretty terrible days with it, especially when trying to fall asleep, but that's what it is. Bitcoin on the heat map above 10,000. That's great. It's constantly surfing up and above. But again, this does not mean that much. There's different support and resistance levels, and this was just a psychological barrier because it's the 5-figure mark. So it's like, yeah, whoa, the first step to 20K, right? So that's what people are saying. Grant, welcome for joining in. You're saying vaccines are poison. That is a controversial opinion. I am a sufferer. My tinnitus and other health effects are from the pharmaceutical world, but I still believe pharmaceuticals are very, very important for humanity, and without them, millions and millions of people would have died from measles and other things, right? So they're important, but not everything is great. Oh, we have some dropped frames. Hopefully the audio quality and the video quality is good for you guys. Just in case, let me know. Streamlabs let me know that 10% 2 minutes ago something happened, so we're gonna have to fix the buffering for the next stream. I think I forgot to change the settings a little bit. We're gonna have to reduce the settings a little bit. It shouldn't affect high definition, but let me know if video is really bad. We can fix it for the next stream. We're already 18 minutes into this. I don't hang out with hypochondriacs, says Christian. So maybe he's referring that to Grant. Maybe he's referring it to me. Well, I try not to be a hypochondriac, but hey, man, there's various diseases out there. Whatever, you just got to keep going. So we're not going to talk too much about that, and let's go, baby. I'm excited. A lot of people are excited right now, but it's not just because this is coming in the next few days. But I'm excited for summer. I'm excited for the warm weather. I'm excited for where crypto is going to be in the summertime, because there's going to be a lot of companies that are going to be developing updates, and some of them are pretty big updates. We're going to be discussing about them. We're also going to be discussing about some scam companies pretty soon. So I typed in Bitcoin, and we have A. Pompliano. Since the last Bitcoin halving, the hash rate went up 78 times. The exchange volume, it went up 77 times. Miner revenue up 15 times. Market cap up 15 times. Price up 15 times. An impressive 4-year run. So let's retweet that. And miner revenue up 15 times, yes, but that is for the miners who are profitable. We made a video on that, how it is not profitable for the average person to be mining. Quick sum up, if you just have your computer right now, like if I wanted to get my computer to mine crypto, I probably could, but it would break my computer because while editing videos and doing all this other stuff, the more you use your computer, it's like a car, right? The more miles you have on it, the better chance that something's going to break. And it's going to be expensive to fix that. And this laptop already had to fix the battery, right? So if I have to fix the battery again, it's going to add to the costs. And an important cost, laptop's probably not the best for it. A special mining rig, you got a lot of electricity. Well, it heats up. You got to get cooling fans. That's very loud, so you're probably not going to have a lot. Or if you do have a lot, you have to get a special warehouse. Well, where are you going to get it? The rents. How are you going to negotiate that? How are you going to negotiate the electricity cost? Because suddenly, you're paying for a certain electricity, and then it ramps up. The electricity company is going to want to know what's going on, right? It may also be illegal where you are, depending where you live. So probably not the case with many areas, but that has happened before. The police has shut down warehouses. So there's a lot of things going on, and by the time you get everything set up, you're also probably going to have outdated equipment. It's not going to be as good as these billion-dollar corporations. They have a lot more money to throw it at. So it's best to just leave mining alone, unless you're really, really passionate about it. It's like your hobby, then go for it. Maybe you can make some money with it. And as with anything, the top people are able to make money, but it is still interesting. It's an important aspect of crypto. The difficulties going up. It was very important over the past, for the past 2 halvings. But right now, there's going to be less and less smaller guys. Most of the miners are going to be getting kicked out or swallowed up by these larger players. So they're going to buy out what they can. Everyone else will just get wrecked. Google searches for the Bitcoin halving have exceeded 300% of the volume seen before the 2016 halving event. And a lot of people are discussing about this because it's more well known. So in 2016, you ask somebody from the street, maybe they know about Bitcoin if they're into tech. They like computers, they like special certain sketchy websites on the deep web, but a lot of people weren't that familiar with it. Like you go to a club, you ask a girl, hey, what's Bitcoin? There was a lot of people who in 2017, when it was blowing up, had no idea what it was. And the memes came out, the videos came out, songs about crypto came out. You heard it on the radio, you heard it on the television, you heard it like everywhere. Eventually your grandma heard about it. And whatever news it was, whether it was good news, bad news, oh, Bitcoin's a scam, buy Bitcoin, whatever, you're seeing a lot more of that. So more people are familiar with it, more people have heard about it. And now with this halving event, whatever big event is going on with Bitcoin, journalists, CNN, like the radio, television, everybody's talking about it. Your buddies might be talking about it. And you hear it at school, you hear it at work, you hear it online, you hear it everywhere. So obviously the Google searches will go up. And also, this is a small bit to that, but there's more people in India, more people in China who are getting access to internet, getting access to phones. There's a lot of people who are getting interested in crypto over there. They want to earn some money. So there's just more and more people connected right now in 2020 that they weren't connected in 2016. And I think it's going to continue. That trend will continue. So in 2024, approximately, 4 years from now, for the next halving, there's going to be even more and more. It's just like with YouTube. Back then, it was crazy for a channel at the very beginning of YouTube to have 100,000 subscribers, then 1 million subscribers, then 10 million, right? You got a lot of channels right now with 10 million, 50 million subscribers. And you got PewDiePie over 100 million. You got T-Series over 100 million. In the future, there might be a YouTube channel that has 1 billion subscribers. And on TikTok, you got people who are growing like Charlie D'Amelio, who has almost 60 million followers. Within a year or two, boom, like you get 100 million followers. So there's more and more platforms as technology keeps developing. It's quicker and quicker access to more giant volumes of people because it's not like you have to meet them in person. Boom. So there's a lot of search results for Bitcoin, and I think that's only going to continue. So it is good news, but it also shouldn't, take it with a grain of salt. Just because people are looking into it, it helps with stability. It helps with discussions of crypto because there's a lot of people who are still, I don't know if I should invest into it, but there's less people who think it's a scam, right? But is that really one of the indicators? Oh, is it going to go up and explode? It's just getting more popular. That's what it is. But just because it gets more popular doesn't mean it's going to hit like $100,000 tomorrow. After the 2020 halving, Bitcoin will have a lower inflation rate than gold. So let's click this, see how it's going. There's, a fair amount of good quality posts. Bitcoin's inflation, second halving, and gold's inflation. Nice chart. Gold's inflation rate varies year to year, not a constant. Would be cool to see that represented on here. And also, out of curiosity, let's check Dow Jones price, see how that's doing. 24,248.67. Oh man, it's interesting to see where it's going to be in the summertime. But you see this, 23,000, and then it hit 18,500, and it was near 30,000 over here. So more than a third lost just like that. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Oh man. That is a crazy steep drop over there. The price of gold as well, just to compare. So gold's at 1717 right now. Oh boy. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to be exiting out of the live stream within the next 5 to 10 minutes. So let's go through some cryptocurrency articles, the titles, read a few paragraphs, and see how that's going. So I prefer CoinDesk, in my opinion. We have been reading from CCM. They kind of changed their layout a little bit. If you've got some cool websites you'd want me to know about, let them know. Welcome, Jijeets26 Oliver. Hi, do you hold ADA in your portfolio? No, I used to. And I was discussing it in my live stream yesterday on my other channel. People were asking me, what would I invest in? I'm not going to give advice for you guys to what to invest in because I'm not experienced with that. The only experience holy moly. It's working. Can you guys see that? The chat is working. Oh my. I kept going back and forth, but it's work. I didn't expect it to work. Can you guys see the chat as well? If so, yes, I got Streamlabs to work. Yes, this is pumped up. I'm excited. Okay, so that's going to be very exciting for my other channel because there's going to be more comments. Right now, I set a setting for like the comments to disappear after 15 seconds, so that's whatever. They're there. They should be working, so that's all that I care about. So we discussed yesterday in that live stream that the first cryptocurrencies that I personally would look into were the ones that I invested before. Half of them probably, Wienerman says, yes, it works. Awesome, it works for you guys. The only reason I asked that is I saw on Reddit some people were talking about the problem that it wasn't showing up. And others were saying that it only showed up for the YouTubers, so other people didn't see it at all. And I'm so excited. Yes, it works. Okay, so that's the first part to creating better quality streams. Next up, we're purchasing a camera, a green screen. We're gonna get some better audio pretty soon, and we're going to try and figure out how to get moving elements in the live stream. But right now it's okay. Okay, great. So Cardano, Stellar Lumens, NEM, EOS, Litecoin, BTC, obviously Ethereum. And I want to check out new cryptocurrencies that are at the top. Which ones stayed there? Which ones replaced other, previous hits back in 2017, 2018? Why, for example, I had NEM in my portfolio. Why NEM dropped? I already know why Steemit dropped a lot. And then we have Steemit's replacement Hive, and it's much higher. It really depends on what you're interested in. I'm interested in privacy coins. I used to have Monero. I'd want to check out Zcash. I know Deep Bunion's gone. So they fell quite a bit. And I'd want to check out all of those risky ICOs that I invested in and see where they are. Whether they're down 99% or they're still around and they went down 70%, but they have some hopes. Who knows? So yes, I don't have anything right now in my cryptocurrency portfolio, but if I were to get into it again, the first step would be to look at what I used to have and just learn from that mistake. If it was a mistake, and if it went up, try and figure out why that company is still there, or there are replacement companies to it. So what a lot of these crypto investors back in 2017, me included, didn't really think about was that there was a lot of clones. There was a lot of copycats. And I'm not talking about forks. I mean, yeah, we all have our opinion on Bcash and Bitcoin SV, but I'm talking more about a company that has an idea and then there's 10 more ICOs that copy the same idea. They changed a few elements. They all raised a lot of money, but at the end of the day, only the original would stay up, or only one of the last companies that took that idea and really revolutionized it, or maybe all 10 of them would fall down because they used the same idea. So there's a lot of companies that just disappeared from the top 50, but interesting. So we can exit out of this and go to the titles. Oh boy, first mover. Search interest in Bitcoin's halving reaches fever pitch as price hits $10,000. And that's what we were discussing about through that Twitter right there. Google Trends. Around the time of the last halving, it was, looks like a third or a fourth of where it was. We discussed how a lot more people are using the internet, a lot more news coverage about this. In the build-up to the halving, prices have surged over recent weeks. The rise is also likely because of speculation that Bitcoin might work as an inflation hedge against the trillions of dollars of new money injections by the Federal Reserve. Money printer go brrr. I know that's a crazy meme, but there's a lot going on. Paul Tudor Jones II, that's a nice name right there, the hedge fund magnate, known for correctly predicting the 1987 stock market crash, told Bloomberg News Thursday his $38 billion Tudor Investment Corporation is putting money into Bitcoin futures. I'm not a hard money nor a crypto nut, Jones told clients in a market outlook note titled The Great Monetary Inflation. But the best profit maximizing strategy is to own the fastest horse, he wrote. If I am forced to forecast, my bet is it will be Bitcoin. The most compelling argument for owning Bitcoin is the coming digitization of currency everywhere, accelerated by COVID-19. So here's a total spot volume, lower tier versus top tier exchanges. Some $66.2 billion worth of cryptocurrencies changed hands that day, second only to the $75.9 billion traded during March 12th, 39% price plunge. So this was from April 30th, and March 12th, March 13th, Bitcoin was around $4,500, $4,600. March had a few very interesting dates. March had 2 dates that broke records for the most amount of the highest percentage loss in the stock market since 1929, the Great Depression. It beat out a lot of dates. The only date it didn't beat out was 1987. So the Black Monday crash right there. So, last few article titles, and we are going offline. Thank you so much for joining us in today. This we were discussing about a little bit in that article before. The hedge fund pioneer turns bullish on Bitcoin amid unprecedented monetary inflation. Tudor, Paul Tudor Jones II. I love that name. It's a very powerful name. Tudor is Rolex has like their subsidiary brand called Tudor. They make slightly cheaper versions of the Rolex watch, but it's still, Tudor watches are great, but this is completely different. Jones was one of the first well-known hedge fund managers, having started Tudor Investment Corporation in 1980 at the age of 25. He made a name and a substantial return for himself by correctly calling the 1987 crash and then shorting Japanese equities a couple of years later, just before that market collapsed. He has since become an elder statesman of sorts for the hedge fund world, and his philanthropic endeavor, the Robin Hood Foundation, boasts finance titans and celebrities on its board. Bitcoin reminds Jones of gold in the 1970s. Throughout the early 1970s, gold experienced an acute rally from $35 per ounce to a peak of $180 within 3 years. Unprecedented central bank monetary policy amid the coronavirus crisis is a primary reason for Jones's interest in Bitcoin. Jones's statement comes amid a new all-time high in CME Bitcoin futures open interest, which nearly reached $400 million on Wednesday. Bitcoin also rallied nearly 10% on Thursday, climbing from $9,000 to just below $9,900 at the time of publication. Amid much discussion on monetary policy in his letter, Jones inserted a subjective ranking of certain assets by their ability to store value, based on a poll of his research group. With 100 as the maximum and best score, Jones' team ranked Bitcoin at 43, the worst score relative to gold, cash, and financial assets. So gold has 62, Bitcoin has a subjective score of 43, fiat cash of 54, and financial assets of 71. What was surprising to me was not that Bitcoin came at last, but that it scored as high as it did, he wrote. Its score as a proportion of the other categories was higher than the cryptocurrency's market cap as a proportion of the others. Something appears wrong here, and my guess is the price of Bitcoin. Writing to clients, Jones said, "I'm not a hard money nor a crypto nut," and that's what we were looking in the previous article. So last one, open positions on Bitcoin options passed 1 billion for the first time. Data from major exchanges Deribit, LedgerX, Bakkt, OKX, and CME shows that open interest on options rose above $1 billion. By the way, Bakkt got more investment, a few hundred million right there, surpassing the previous all-time high of $970 million registered on February 14th. So, crypto derivatives, baby. Oh, yeah, that's right. I got to do some videos on crypto derivatives. I'm excited about that. So, the metric has increased sharply from the low of $410 million observed in March when the Bitcoin market crashed on Black Thursday, March 12th. Oh, boy. Deribit, the world's biggest crypto options exchange by volume, contributed nearly 90% of the total on Thursday as open positions on the Panama-based exchange reached $15.7 million yesterday, the highest level since the March 12th crash, while Bitcoin itself clocked a 2-month high of $10,062 on CoinDesk Bitcoin Price Index, which means if you're selling on local Bitcoins and packs full, and you're selling above price for 10%, 20%, even up to 50%, woo, you already hit over $10,000 a long time ago. Now you're hitting for $11,000, $12,000, $13,000. Now most people aren't going to buy that. But let's say, Bitcoin, where is it at right now? The exact price for right now, $19.9980 times 1.04. If you go to an ATM, it's going to give you at $10,379.2 because my ATM has a 4% rate. But if you're doing it at 10%, you're close to $11,000 right there. So depends where you're getting your crypto from. A lot of people are getting very, very excited right now. 500 blocks to go. Only 500 blocks left. Another advantage of a Bitcoin full node live stream this historical monument in real time. People on Reddit. That time in 2017 would have got half a Bitcoin for free. Ooh, I wonder how this individual got Bitcoin for free. And coming soon, Rip Hal Finney, his last post on a Bitcoin forum. I forgot about my Bitcoin from 2012. Ooh, maybe that guy's got a lot of Bitcoin. Who knows? Bitcoin versus gold. This sums up Bitcoin and cash for me. Why isn't the world getting this? I wrote a rudimentary article to answer a friend's questions about the halving. It's a little... Okay, so we have... They should monitor this. So that was like a spammy comment right there. Bitcoin against USDT, 99.64. Let's read some comments, probably some more. Hi, Yol! Yes! We got Yol. Yol, remember how yesterday in that live stream we were discussing that the chant wouldn't work? Look at that. You're up there. It's working. I know. I'm so excited. Wienerman, oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I read your first comment. Do you think mining will ever be profitable again? I'm so sorry. If you were here, if you are still here, I think mining will... I mean, it is profitable depending on which crypto you're mining. But the riskier cryptocurrencies, the less popular ones, the ones that more hobby enthusiasts or true supporters of that project, like if your coin's not in the top 50 and you want to mine that or stake it, you're most likely a true supporter of it. And maybe you have just a lot of money to blow and you're doing retarded positions. But I think it is profitable, but it's extremely risky for those. And do you think mining will ever be profitable again? There is a chance depending on what happens with the technological revolution. I think 2020 will be the decade where it literally is the future right now. Technology is developing faster than ever before, and it's going to keep on increasing at that rate until, I don't know, AI or robots take over or something. But seriously, I think equipment will get cheaper. I think there is a chance that there might be some new companies that are able to create a revolutionary new mining rig that somehow beats the others. There is a chance that it may not happen for a while, but you never know, right? There's companies that beat out, like, hey, MySpace used to be the biggest company on social media, and then boom, Facebook came out of nowhere, right? Some guy with a laptop, yeah, he was from a good university, but he was just chilling in his college dorm, and then bang, he created something that absolutely killed them. I remember Yahoo was big and almighty, and then Google wanted to be bought out by Yahoo. Yahoo rejected them twice, and then where's Yahoo right now? Yeah, sure, it still exists, but Yahoo's... Remember Tumblr? I mean, most people probably from here don't care about Tumblr, but Tumblr had some... interesting positions. Like they completely changed their company. There's been a lot of big companies that were either worth billions of dollars or could have been worth billions of dollars or even hundreds of billions of dollars, and within a matter of a year, boom, they went bankrupt, they went completely bust, or they just disappeared, and now they're worthless. Depending, it doesn't even matter about the monetary value. People forgot that they even exist, right? So I think that's going to happen faster. There could be 3 guys working in a garage right now. You don't know, the next Apple, and they're going to create the best mining rig out there for a really cheap price because they're kind of going to take Jeff Bezos' speeches to heart, and they're like, yes, we want cheap equipment, and we want it to be available for everybody, and who knows, a good mining rig might cost $200 in the future. It might also cost $10,000 depending on inflation of the US dollar. That's going to be interesting. But there is a small chance that, yes, mining will be profitable again. It depends what happens. There could also be a crazy flood. There's already been floods, but there could be a flood that destroys a company. I don't know, Bitmain suddenly goes bankrupt because of some crazy scandal the CEO pulls. Who knows? The future will change paths many, many times over again. And I don't think it's going to be profitable for the average Joe for the next few years unless you're really into that, unless you really know your stuff, because you have to know about electricity, you have to know about mining. It is dangerous. You have to have a company that follows all the regulations depending where you are, paying taxes, making sure you have all the permits. There's just a lot of elements that the average investor, like you can buy Bitcoin within 10 seconds if you really wanted to. Or if you have no idea what Bitcoin is, and I had like Bob over here, I'm like, hey Bob, buy some Bitcoin, I'm going to give you money. Within an hour, he'd go on YouTube, he'd learn, okay, let's go to Coinbase, he'd have Bitcoin. If I even paid Bob $10,000 to learn about Bitcoin, yeah, he'd be really excited, but it'd take way longer to start mining. And probably his first mining rig would be crap, there would be issues. It's like a computer, right? When you've been using Mac and Windows the entire time and suddenly you're getting Linux, you're like, how do I use Linux? The first time I've ever been logged into Linux, I was like, oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's crazy, right? So, I don't know. I don't think mining is going to be profitable for the average Joe unless something crazy happens. But you never know. Yo, welcome, Wolf. from the Netherlands. Facebook is DARPA. Jack, welcome, Jack. I think I've seen you in here many times before. Yes, exactly. That's why we're drinking zero. And Vater der Janen. Are you from the Netherlands as well? Vater. Vater sounds like father. Father of the hyenas. I don't know. That's what I'm translating. Dude, you gained a lot of weight. I know. We're losing it, though. And when the pandemic opens up, we're going back to the pool. But let's see how everything's going. 99.64. Ooh, Bitcoin's falling down a little bit. Oh, no, it's a crash. Oh, no, sell everything. Nah, it's doing all right. It's going to be exciting. Man, we're getting closer and closer. 3 days, 8 hours, 35 minutes, 17 seconds. And truthfully, I'm excited because in 4 days, I get my chair from IKEA. Which, by the way, IKEA sent me a check yesterday. And I got a notification because I don't even use this bank account anymore. I had some old debts to pay on that account. And I got a notification that I paid a debt off. And I was like, what do you mean I paid a debt off? It wasn't much. It was like a $30 bill. And I was very confused because that account can't go negative. I checked my phone and it's like, oh, you just got 600. Let's see what that is because it's probably like 150 bucks. 600 PLN. Okay, 143 bucks. So I got 143 bucks from IKEA, which was around the come, and I got that back because I used to work at IKEA. I guess my best guess is even if you don't work with IKEA anymore, they just kind of gave something out because IKEA is a pretty good corporation where they have been known in times of crisis or even in times where everything was great, like they reached a certain, sales limit. Like, yes, we reached a goal that they gave out money to all of its employees. So I guess that goes even for ex-employees. So I got like 143 bucks out of nowhere. It's not a lot, but it's like free money. Sure, I'll take it. Why not? I guess that's my stimulus check. So yeah, 20, 30 bucks went for the debt, and the rest I switched over to another account. You never know. Free money might hit you. And hey, if you guys have good money, the next video that we're going to be discussing about, I'm not going to be doing a live stream about this. It is a PPP loan application video for sole proprietors. So if you're a freelancer like I am, the only difference is I'm probably not going to do this myself because, my income, like whatever, I don't really need a loan. Technically, it's a forgivable loan, but it's 2.5 times your income. So if they only look at like American earnings, if they only look at YouTube, that's going to be like, okay, well, what, 300, 400 bucks? So we're whatever. But it can go up to $20-something thousand if you're a sole proprietor. So if you're in need of some money, it might be an interesting option to look out for. I wasn't aware of that. I only thought it was small corporations, but I guess it also applies to freelancers. That was a new update within the past few days. However, the PPP, the government ran out of money for the PPP program, and then they gave a few $100 billion more, but it's probably going to run out within the next few days as well. So I don't know how that's going to go about, but we're still going to make a video on it. And I guess that's it for today. What's this? That's my live stream. Billionaire seeks safety in Bitcoin. This is it. There's Paul Tudor. Ooh, nice gentleman. He's got a nice ring. 1 Bitcoin now equals $10,000. There we go. All right, guys. Well, this was an interesting live stream. I am so happy that it works. You're from Germany. Oh, Vater. Well, you're right next door because I'm in Wrocław. Breslau. Yeah, Breslau is the German. So right next door. It depends where you are in Germany. Like if you're in Berlin, you're probably closer than if you were in Munich or Frankfurt or somewhere. But anyways, Germany's a beautiful country. I love the Autobahn. Absolutely fantastic. I wish America had the Autobahn. Oh, yes. Opel is best. Constantin Opel. We have Wolf who really enjoys Opel. Oh, boy. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I wish you all the best. I'm excited. We're going to do more cryptocurrency live streams. We've been live streaming for nearly an hour here. If you just joined in or you didn't listen to the entire thing or you'd want to, well, it will be uploaded. And unfortunately, since I'm still kind of working out how to use this Streamlabs and make everything okay, the first few minutes will be a little bit weird. So I'll edit out the first few minutes But before YouTube, like if you want to watch it as a video, before YouTube edits out the first few minutes, it takes like 12 to 18 hours of processing. But anyways, that's just for future live streams. I promise you guys, I will do everything I can to try and improve the video quality and live stream quality within the next month or two. The main thing is I just need more money. So when I get more money, we're going to get some ring lights. We're going to get some better lighting. We need a green screen. We need a better mic. And I'm thinking if I should just sell my camera. I asked this on my other live stream, on my other channel, and this might be the answer. It doesn't support 4K. It's worth like $1,000 with a great lens on it. So probably within the next month, I might sell my old camera because this has the exact same quality as my Samsung S10 Plus. I'm thinking, you know what? This might be the answer to improving the live streams within a month. So hang in there. Thank you for your support. I apologize that last year we weren't uploading that much, but we're going to be uploading a lot more right now. And there was one thing I wanted to say as well. The last thing, I forgot about this completely. I found this on Instagram. Warren Buffett, yes, that's right, because we put him in the title and we discussed about his indicator. If you joined in later, let's find it again. So Warren Buffett's favorite stock market indicator hits record high, signaling a crash could be coming. So his favorite indicator was the total market cap divided by the quarterly GPD. That was the Buffett indicator. And now with Buffett, well, he's a little bit bearish. Arguably the best performing investor of all time warns the global economy is still likely to crash. You know what? I'm curious. What is Warren Buffett's net worth over there? You know, it's constantly fluctuating. 68.2 billion. And he's probably given a fair amount away, or maybe it went down. Yeah, he's frugal. He used to have 86 billion, so whatever. Most likely the billionaires are hiding it or they're giving away in tax purposes. It'll be back at 80. Jeff Bezos at 141. Elon Musk, dude, I thought it was 25 billion. He's at 40 billion. Oh yeah, that's why he did the Tesla tweet. He also had his baby this week, so congratulations to him. And D. Trump's birthday is coming up, guys. That's going to be interesting. But yeah, okay, Warren Buffett. It's like a little bit of ADHD. We constantly keep switching the topics. Warren Buffett has no intention of spending Berkshire's $137 billion cash pile. Oh, man, that's crazy. That number is crazy. And if stocks plummet, Bitcoin may see another significant correction. Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway remain reluctant in spending its $137 billion cash pile. Their cautious stance towards the abrupt recovery of the U.S. stock market may spoil the recent Bitcoin rally. Or it may be good news, who knows, because with Bitcoin it's always crazy. And the website's not working again. Oh, there we go. By the way, yesterday's live stream, we got the website to work. Here it is. It's beautiful. I know, it looks great. And we have the prices on the exchanges as well. Oh, yeah. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I love this website. I don't know. It looks good. It looks good to me. The black background, that's what does it. So the top-ranked cryptocurrency by market capitalization has long broken out of its short-term correlation with the U.S. stock market, but a potential equities correction in the near term raises the probability of a pullback in all high-risk and speculative assets. It took less than 2 months for Bitcoin to rise by nearly threefold from $3,600. Much of the positive sentiment around the upsurge of Bitcoin in April was attributed to the dominance of organic spot volume. It suggested that from $3,600 to mid-$7,000, retail investors accumulated Bitcoin. In previous rallies, spoof orders coming from the futures market derivative created speculative short-term bubbles that burst as soon as a large whale triggered a cascading sell-off. While high spot volume from exchanges like Coinbase can be considered an optimistic piece of data, it cannot solely justify the sustainability of such a large rally within a 2-month span. The same way Buffett is struggling to find value in the stock market to lead major acquisition deals. Speaking at the annual Berkshire Hathaway shareholders meeting, which, by the way, you don't need to buy Berkshire Hathaway's crazy stock. There's stock A and stock B. Berkshire Hathaway stock price. Yeah, here's stock A. $265,000. You don't need to own one $265,000 stock. It's up by $4,400. Only 1%. That's like the crazy billionaire. I always love looking at that. You can look at B stock price, $176. So you can buy one stock, Berkshire Hathaway, Class B, and you can go to a shareholders meeting in Omaha, Nebraska. I was in Omaha, Nebraska. I saw Warren Buffett's house. There's not much to do in Omaha, but maybe he just enjoys the climate or whatever. The climate's pretty crap, but he also there's a lot of potholes in Omaha. There was potholes on the street leading up to his house, but he's got multiple houses, so it's not like he cares. Buffett said that $137 billion is not a large cash pile if bad things start to pile up in the market. Yeah, he needs $1 trillion. Bitcoin is at a point where it faces strong overhead resistance in a $9,500 to $9,900 range. The U.S. equities market is still rattled by the economic consequences of the pandemic. However, this was written 6 hours ago, and we already blew past. So we already hit $10,000, so that's great. Given the cyclical nature of Bitcoin, technical analysis way towards a correction for Bitcoin after its highly anticipated block reward halving. So approaching ever closer. 3 days, 8 hours, 26 minutes, 49 seconds. So thanks guys for tuning in. I wish you all the best. What about the Bitcoin dominance? All right, yeah, you know what? We didn't discuss about that. So let's see where it is. Bitcoin, Warren Buffett, BTC dominance index chart. Man, I love Coca-Cola. I don't know. I feel like Warren Buffett with a Coke in his hand right there. I always hate when that jumps up. Oh, no, wait, what am I looking at? Jesus. Global charts, BTC dominance. I love CoinMarketCap's blog, by the way. I do have to interrupt. An advanced trader speaks up. So we go to their CoinMarketCap blog, and I love that they have that feature because for a lot of newbies, and even for me, because I'm still technically a newbie, I'll always be a newbie, after the mistakes that I've pulled, I like reading the blog. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys aren't real big fans of CoinMarketCap. It's been around since forever, so I'm always about that. And Bitcoin dominance is at 67.9%. It's doing pretty well. I'm excited about the fact that Streamlabs worked. I'm excited about what's going to happen within the next few days. The good old days where the market cap, what was the highest market cap the year to date? It was like $900-something billion. Man, good times. We're approaching $300 billion. We're at $270 billion. I'm excited. I don't know. I hope we break the $1 trillion market cap within the next 2-3 years. That'd be great. But we'll see where it goes. So currently I don't have any Bitcoin. It's not like it affects me, but it does in here, in the heart, because you got to love it. So 55 minutes live stream. Thank you. We will prepare more for a better live stream right there. I'm just excited that we were able to have so many viewers in here. See you. Goodbye. And if you will watch this later on, share your opinion below in the comment section.